Good morning, everyone. Today we're checking out a video from outside Xbox of 7 games that cheated to feel more fun. Now, I'm actually wondering what they mean by that. 7 games that cheated. Does that mean like 7 games that played against the player? I don't know. Let's hop in and find out.
The main aim of a video game is for you, the player, to have fun while playing it.
That's right.
Unless it's an open-world Ubisoft game where the aim is mostly activating towers.
Clearly that's a good amount of games.
The fun comes later, I bet. As such, games go to great lengths to ensure their players are having as much fun as possible, sometimes even going so far as to indulge in a little behind-the-scenes subterfuge to up the chances of a good time. Here then are 7 games that cheated to feel more fun. Enjoy, and beware minor spoilers ahead for the following games.
Ooh. Amnesia, The Dark Descent, Hellblade, Sacrifice, Alien Isolation, Portal 2, Satisfactory, Gales of War 2, or Fire Emblem 3 Houses. Let's go. Starting with Satisfactory. Okay.
Milestone reached. The Fixit Jump Pad combines high technology and innovation for optimized factory traversal and an ideal travel experience. Clarification. Ideal travel experience not guaranteed. Individual results may vary.
Fall damage is like going to the dentist. You wouldn't call it fun, but it is necessary and sometimes painful.
Yeah, that's just very common. Why were you running on the edge anyway, man?
Still better
Come on
than
now.
the bit where they inject the anesthetic into your gums. Take factory building sim Satisfactory, for instance, in which you play an engineer working for a shady space corporation dropped onto a beautiful and unexplored alien world to exploit the hell out of it.
Oh yeah. You gotta turn that planet into a factory.
As you progress...
Oh, no. You gotta turn that planet into a planet. Oh, damn, that was right there in front of me.
Exploring further and building taller structures, fall damage is there to remind you of the importance of skillful platforming and gravity and the fragility of life, specifically yours.
Oh shit! Damn, man!
Fall damage results from any drop
I made
of
that
over
exact same mistake.
13.5 meters, with longer falls resulting in greater damage.
Ow.
However, developer Coffee Stain Studios has also ingeniously tweaked the fall damage formula to optimize your fun and reduce frustration. Lightly cheating the in-game laws of physics, Satisfactory is set up so that as long as you begin a fall at full health, you won't die from hitting the ground, no matter how far you fall.
Oh, that's a pretty good cheat.
Basically, fall damage is capped at 97 hit points, so a player with the full 100 hit points will walk away from even the most extreme of parachute-free skydives with a sliver of health to spare.
Now that's useful. Starting off max health, you'll survive any drop.
It's a smart little cheat that makes the difference between you feeling like the lucky engineer who just escaped death and you having to respawn and do the walk of shame all the way back to collect your death
there
crate.
you go. You're not full health. So dead.
Unless, of course, you then lose your last few HP to the local wildlife.
Uh-oh. Dude just
It's
stood
still
down.
better than the bit when they inject the anesthetic into your gums.
Okay, so this is Hellblade. Huh, I've seen it somewhere. Yet I've
Being
never
as it
heard
is a
this
game
game.
which explores themes of loss and coping with mental illness, Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice isn't exactly what you'd call a cheery game. And that's before we get to the fact that you spend most of the time with your dead boyfriend's head tied up in a filthy tea towel on your belt.
In the head of his
Oh, well, that's
heart
kind of
lies the
gross.
seat of his soul. So you must carry his vessel to bring him
Well,
back home.
then again, you kind of do the same thing in Lollipop Chainsaw. Kind
As
of.
you can imagine then, Hellblade is a game shot through with a pervasive sense of dread, which isn't made any better when, early on in the game, you're informed that if you die too many times, you're dead for good and the game will delete your save.
A vision
Is that real?
of what's to come. Poor Senua. The darkness does not bargain. It does not reason. It is wrought.
I don't know of
And
any
now
game that
it
would
has
ever
taken
implement an idea like that.
It will spread towards her head, the seat of the soul, until there is nothing left of her.
It doesn't put it in those terms, of course. In the game, this encroaching permadeath is represented by a dark rot growing up Senua's arm. You're told that every time you die, the dark rot will grow, and if it reaches Senua's head, your quest is over and all progress will be lost.
Is that real though? I'm calling the bluff.
What this accomplishes is making every death in Hellblade feel meaningful and something you genuinely want to avoid. I'd hesitate to call it more fun, but it's certainly more impactful and makes for a better gaming experience when you're worried that each death could be your last.
Damn! What the hell? Blade?
Except that it's all a lie. That's right, there's actually no limit to the number of times you can die in Hellblade.
I
And
was
while
right.
your early deaths will cause the dark rot to proceed up Senua's arm, it will never go past her elbow. A boss fight late in the game is what causes the rot to proceed to her shoulder, and then shortly after that, the game ends.
Those rituals, the years of isolation, the pain that still haunts you.
I was right. The game was just bluffing.
Way to fight the curse within you.
So you didn't need to worry after all, the devs were just lying to you. But the fact that they did made the game better, so I guess we forgive them? Except for
Yeah,
making us
that's
carry
fine.
a head around in a tea towel for the majority of the game. That's just beyond the pale.
Yeah. Something's on this station.
Ah, this is Alien Isolation.
Something you wouldn't believe.
Like what?
A killer. You get it?
Okay.
They say in space, no one can hear you scream. Where people definitely
Well, in the
can
vacuum,
hear you
yeah.
scream, however, is in my living room, and they hear it a lot when I'm playing Alien Isolation because it's absolutely bloody terrifying.
Go on me.
What? Oh!
The reason it's so terrifying, and this should come as no surprise to anyone who's played it, is the fact you spend almost the entire game being hunted by the Xenomorph, nature's perfect killing machine, with knives for hands, acid for blood, several chomping
Oh, that
mouths,
was a
and a
Molotov.
predilection for sneaking around in vents
Thought that was a
and jumping out when
flamethrower.
you least expect it. As such, instead of a first-person shooter, Alien Isolation is a first-person hider. You'll spend the majority of your time attempting to evade the
an
single
Outlast in
phenomenally
space.
deadly alien
Oh my god, it's Outlast in space. That's literally what it is.
creature, usually while quietly sobbing and cursing to yourself. Now, it turns out that there's a good reason as to why the Xenomorph is so good at hunting you. It has 2 brains. And I'm not just talking about its regular one, plus the one it just prized out of your skull with its spindly claws. I'm talking about 2 separate brains, in inverted commas, governing its AI behaviour. One
Go
is
on.
the main brain, known as the Director AI, which governs the alien's physical body and can only react to things it can directly verify through a sense, like hearing or vision, e.g. you clattering around in a corridor in its direct line of sight. The
Good
other
throw.
brain, however, known as the behaviour tree, always knows exactly where you are, but crucially can only give hints to the Director AI. The result is that the alien always kind of knows where you are, even if it can't see or hear you. So it will
Kind of like saying, like, something's over that way.
stay in your vicinity rather than wandering off to check the other side of the space station, leaving you with a breezy alien-free romp through the game. And that's not all. There's an additional mechanic called the Menace Gauge, which dynamically raises and lowers based on how terrified the player should be feeling at any given moment.
Oh,
Spend a while
really now?
being actively chased. That fills the Menace bar, and when it reaches max, if the alien doesn't have a direct line on you, it will know to back off for a bit to give players the ebb and flow of tension that is fundamental to the type of enjoyment you get from a good horror movie.
Okay, okay.
So bear all that in mind the next time
So Menace Ball full, alien backs up. Menace Ball low, alien on your balls.
you're impaled through the stomach by an acid-drooling HR Giga nightmare. This could all have been a lot less fun if the developers hadn't cheated a little bit.
I mean, imagine if you could kill it. Oh,
Doesn't bear thinking about.
God, that's still hot.
Look, even if you think we're still enemies, we're enemies with a common interest. Revenge. You like revenge, right? Everybody likes revenge. Well,
Revenge is good.
Go get some.
In the Portal games, you need one portal of each colour, blue and orange, to create a successful link between two locations. Why those colours? Because science is why. Read a book. Even though Portal 2 teaches you this fundamental rule right at the start of the game, it's extremely easy to forget which portal you have where, which can lead to lots of scenarios in which you mess up and stick the wrong portal in the wrong place, usually leading to an anticlimactic thud.
Oh, you know what? Weirdly enough,
Now,
I've
you'd
seen
imagine
that.
an anticlimactic thud is the last thing you'd want to happen during the high-stakes confrontation at the end of Portal 2, especially as your West Country nemesis Wheatley is there, just waiting for you to slip up. And GLaDOS is watching too. Absolute nightmare.
Here's another core. This one should do it.
Thankfully, Portal 2 has your back, and in this critical do-or-die moment here, when you need to shoot the moon with a blue portal because there's an orange portal parked underneath Wheatley, the game isn't going to let you fire off the wrong portal and look like an idiot. So
Can only
Portal
fire
2
one.
cheats a little bit, and if you hit the wrong button for the wrong portal, it ignores you, generously intuiting that you meant to fire a blue portal instead of an orange one, because of course you did.
Yep, only way to end the game.
Hey, I mean to do a lot of things, Portal 2. Any chance I could get some leeway on those as well? No? Right, well, it was worth a shot.
Only with the final cutscene. Ah, amnesia. Sanity clause, huh? Alright. Show us what you mean.
The human mind is a fascinating thing.
Yes,
Take,
it
for
is.
example, how easy it is to scare yourself. I could say, I hope the lamp monster, who I just made up, isn't hiding in this lamp, and now I'm going to have to spend the rest of the day cautiously watching it, just in case it is.
You did it to yourself, you know?
Okay. One of the great things about the human mind's propensity to scare itself is that you can absolutely take advantage of it if you're a video game developer. And that's exactly what Amnesia the Dark Descent developer Frictional Games did. Turns out that early versions of the game featured a sanity meter tied to light levels in the game. Spending more
Oh,
time in
yeah,
the dark
I
would make you
remember.
more likely to be hit with sanity effects, attract more monsters to your location, or even cause you to die.
Weirdly enough, I kind of remember
Thank
that.
goodness I've got you, Lamp. Okay. The problem with this scheme, according to the development team, was that in playtesting it emerged that some players were really good at avoiding the darkness, and as such had a pretty breezy time in Amnesia, which to them was more akin to a well-lit stroll through a historic castle, instead of the desperate, insane Halloween Horror Nights house that players who spent more time in the darkness were getting.
Those people were lucky then.
And so, Frictional Games decided to cheat a bit by, well, lying. The game still told players that staying in the darkness would erode their sanity, but never went into detail about what exactly that would entail. In actual fact, the game kept the sanity effects, but they happened to everyone independently, regardless of how much time they spent in the light or the darkness.
Oh,
As such, players started
okay.
to make up their own theories about what was going on. They'd scramble to avoid the darkness and hunt around for light sources to stave off madness, all the while making the game scarier and more intense when in fact it was all in their head. I mean, apart from the
Not
flapping
bad.
mouthed flesh monsters stamping all around the place, those are definitely real.
Yeah, and surprisingly, a lot of people, when they would see the Amnesia monster, would see that as more as a, like, flesh hoodie it's wearing. It's clearly not a hoodie.
Humanity fought an endless battle against
Gears of War 2.
until it
Kill
was forced to
issue.
unite against a power far greater than it had ever known.
Damn, Locust.
Generally, people are a lot less likely to continue doing something if they're not immediately good at it. Luckily for everyone else in the office though, I'm tenacious.
Not too bad.
See?
Pretty good,
Getting better.
actually.
Jane? You like that? She's nodding.
I liked it.
She's nodding. This was also true of the situation that Gears of War developers Epic Games discovered in looking at their multiplayer data from Gears of War 1. According to a tweet from series lead designer Lee Perry, in Gears, found out 90% of first-time players don't play a second multiplayer match if they don't get a kill.
Really?
Naturally, Epic wanted players to
Wow.
come back for a second, third, 100th multiplayer game of Gears of War, and so they decided to cheat a little to make new players have more fun. Or as Perry puts it, that first game's important, so we started you off with some major advantages like additional damage bonuses that tapered off with your first few kills. Epic took this learning forward into the multiplayer of their next game, so new players jumping into a game of Gears of War 2's multiplayer would find themselves miraculously doing much more damage than they should be doing, get a bunch of kills, feel awesome, and then stick around for, presumably, the long haul, hoping to recapture that same feeling.
Good thing it's not meant to be a multiplayer game. It can be, doesn't mean
Or
it is.
alternatively, wonder why they started out good at the game, then got progressively worse as they went on. Some kind of degenerative muscular condition of the hands, maybe? This is how my mind works, Epic.
Long ago, the divine Ceros
and
received
immediately
a
on to the last
revelation
one.
from the goddess, a gift
Fire
to help
emblem.
guide the lost. Now, the goddess watches over Fodlan from her kingdom above, as the mother of all life.
When a video game needs a random number to determine the outcome of an action, it thoughtfully rolls a dice on your behalf, saving you the effort of finding a dice, rolling a dice, and going to get that dice when it rolls under the sofa. Honestly, it's like a dice graveyard under there.
Gotta hate when that
In the case
happens.
of several games in the Fire Emblem series of tactical RPGs, including Fire Emblem Three Houses, the game does you a further solid and actually rolls 2 dice on your behalf to cheatily improve your experience.
Oh,
Such
really
a
now?
brutal, irrational world we live in.
That's what's going on under the hood of the game's True Hit system, which determines whether or not an attack lands successfully. When you attempt to hit an enemy, the game rolls 2 random numbers from 0 to 100, then takes the average. That average is compared to the displayed hit rate. If the result is less than the number displayed, your attack will land. Congratulations.
It's not luck. it's
Success.
fate.
Because of maths, the upshot of this 2 random number system is that your chances of landing a hit when the hit rate says 50% or above are actually better than suggested by the number on screen.
Shiny wool. I would have thought that thing was like some kind of
This
black
makes
lion.
higher hit rates more reliable, so you hit more often than expected, and it feels like the RNG is siding with you just a little bit. Because it is.
That worked out.
Conversely, when the
Good
hit
kill.
rate says 50% or below, the chances of an attack failing to land are actually worse than suggested by the number on screen. This tends to mean that enemy characters with low hit rates will tend to miss their attacks more often than expected. Thanks, RNG. I take back 3 of the mean things I said about you.
Blessed be Odin Jesus!
All right? 4 of the mean things.
Let me guess.
Hey,
5?
thanks so much for watching this
no?
video
Okay.
about games that cheated to make things more fun. Now, to play us out, I will be performing an original song about other videos you can watch.
That's good. That's good. We're fine. All right, everyone. Thank you for joining me in today's video. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe for more. Link to the original will be in the description below, and I'll see all of y'all next time when we flick back on. Till then, this is Fox signing out. Peace.